Welcome back to my channel. What can I say? What can I say? This video is not gonna be one of the usual videos that I make. Um, I feel like I've hit a bit of a rock bottom situation in my life. I have been in the rock bottom for a while, but I feel like I've hit a point where there's no way to run but to face myself. And I'm usually pretty good at facing myself. Like, I'm not a person who backs down from changing and in going introspectively and listening to what I have to do to change my life. But it is just so dark and I can't see the light out. I don't know what to do with my life. And I thought I'd just come on here and just be honest about it and, you know, buckle up, take a seat next to me, and let's get into it. So, where do I begin? Okay, since I was like 20, I feel like I never did what I liked. I never did what I liked. I always worked for, like, because it looked good. Like, it looked good from the outside and I looked like I got my shit together. But inside, I wasn't so happy. I wasn't so happy with the way I was. I wasn't so happy with the way I was conducting my life, my lifestyle, the way I was going to my job, what the job entailed of. I just wasn't happy with anything. And I wasn't happy the way friends were treating me. I wasn't happy the way my ex boyfriend was treating me. I wasn't happy with my family. I wasn't happy with anything I was. And in fact, I looked pretty scary. And I was just a really skinny person. I was like 38 kilos, really, really skinny. And I was full of acne, which I'm literally breaking out so much. You can't see it, but like so much. But like you can't really see it because it's like really good lighting. Um, I decided to, keep going with my situation in life, and I kept on, job hopping, and I kept on just trying to change my job so that I could try and feel better. But on the side, I was always working on my master's. I have a master's in health and medical sciences, and I was always working on something else on the side. So at one point in like 2023, I decided to try digital marketing. I decided to try um, just like things on the side, like side hustles, and it didn't work out for me at all. Like, at all. I know that there's a lot of people who do like online shit, but even my sister, like, she does it. And I'm like, how do you do it? And she's like, it's very simple. You just do it. And I'm like, how? Like, how do you do it? So I tried doing like online things, but it just didn't work out for me. So I left it and I was like, okay, something really drastically needs to change because the job was like not good. My side hustles were not working out. My master's was making me insane. So I finished my master's. I started doing side hustles a bit more, but it just didn't work out because I was trying to do everything at once, like I usually do, which is literally the story of this video, by the way. And I just I decided to change my life, and I was missing because I was living away from home. I was missing my family. I was missing my spaces. I was missing everything. So I decided to move back and move across the world back to Italy. And this situation, it's okay. Look, if you're watching this video, you're probably like, yeah, like employment in Italy is not that great. Like, yes, I know that. Okay, I know that, but I'm I'm native Italian, so it's not. It's like the country is beautiful, but the opportunities that it offers, they're very limited, and you have to be really good at catching them. So, well, in general, like me and my family, we decided to take like a lot of time to just really get back into the country and like just really enjoy and being present. where we are. So we just took like a bit of a like 3 4 months off after what happened, like the move, which was crazy because we moved like the four of us all together back here. And after this move, I was so convinced that I had to find a new job, like I had to find a new field. So I was like, I need to make this happen like right now. And that was like my first mistake. So my this mistake costed me a lot of time. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the story. I was I felt really pressured, and I think I put that pressure on myself. It's not my parents, it's not my sister, it's not my grandparents, it's nobody, my boyfriend, nobody. It's like I have this innate need to figure it out in like 24 hours. So when it was getting to like the end of summer, I was like, okay, I need to really like figure out what I want to do with my life. So I was like, okay, tried a bit of fashion, but I'm not a person who can sit down still and do really like nitty gritty things. I can't do it. Like I do it as a hobby actually, like here and there, but I don't do it like I can't imagine myself doing it as a job. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. And then like a person, like a family friend, she was like, you should do real estate. And I was like, okay, well, I've always thought about real estate. I watch a lot of real estate shows. I was like, let me get into this business. So for 6 months, I studied real estate to get my license. After I have a fucking degree, master's, I even tried to study for architecture. Like I even just for like a couple of months. Then I thought of fashion. Then I thought of psychology. Then I thought of finally like this like person, a family friend was like, you should do this, and I was like, oh, well, if she's kind of like a creative person, and I was like, maybe that could like be for me. It could be flexible. It could be that I work when I want, which is kind of like where I want to be with my life. So I said yes, and I paid for the course, which the money is not really the big problem here. It's more the time. So over the last now it's been like nearly a year that this situation with the real estate was happening. So last September, I was literally like trying to get into this course, but and that was already the sign. The sign was that the course kept on getting delayed. The enrollment kept on getting delayed. So I was like really like annoyed that it was not like happening straight away from when I decided it was going to happen for me. And I was like, when is this fucking course going to start? Like, I just want to get started. I want to get going. But like later on, I realized that this idea that I had, that I had to keep, like, that I wanted to like get my hands on something was because I was so tired of not having purpose. And, like last summer, while I was like living my summer, I was actually making YouTube videos. I started making YouTube videos, but I thought I was like so ridiculous and cringe. So I kind of like stopped in September. I was like, let's get back into the real world, because I can be very like hard on myself and I can be very disciplined, but it's not always a good thing. So that's the takeaway of this video. Don't be too hard on yourself. And I'm telling you the timeline of my disastrous failures because I want you to really seriously look at your life and be like, am I actually like doing this for me, or am I doing it for people, or to even prove something to yourself, you know? So that's why I'm trying to tell you the whole story, because it's really important you do things for you and not because you need to prove anything to anybody. The moment you feel like you need to prove something, it's probably not for you. Okay. So at this point, I started the course. I started the course very late, like November, basically. So from November to April, I was doing this course. And actually, honestly, I really liked it. Like, I really loved studying for it. And I felt confident in the topics. I really liked it. And so I passed like the internal examination. But at one point, it was time to actually get into the work field. And this moment, it was very like hard for me because of two things. Number one, that I was going into a field that I had never worked on in. And actually, I worked in the healthcare industry for 6 years. So, literally, my whole from 18 to actually maybe like 17 to 24, I worked in the healthcare industry. So, for me, it was like, shit, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm kind of like really scared. So like this the fear of working in a different place in my Italian language was kind of like getting to me. And then the second thing, which is like the biggest one, the biggest, so many sleepless nights, oh my god, about this. I was moving away from home. I was making the move to go to a different city in the north, and I'm from the south. And this move was not only the biggest move that I made since I was unhappy to be away from my family in Australia. And not only was the biggest move since that time when I was like scared and depressed and anxious, but it was also the time where I had to start my new life and my new job. So all these like thoughts were making me not sleep. They were making me so anxious. Like things were really hard for me internally. Like you wouldn't, and see, that's the thing. Like what I'm trying to say is that I hit rock bottom so many times in my life. Like I feel like I've been in rock bottom since like I was 20 years old. But I understand that the 20s do feel like this. So back to the story. I go to my new city. Go to my new city, and I have like friends. I'm like, social life is great. And I'm starting to get this like itch inside that's like, I don't know if I really want to like do this like real estate shit. Like I'm starting to not want to go and find jobs. And like the first job that I land an interview with, which is so easy by the way to get an interview for this particular job, because you'll find out why in a minute. Um, like we sit down, we have a chat, and the interviewer was like, okay, you have to open your ABN, and the ABN initially is like terrible. You pay like 40% of taxes. It's really high, and you end up not earning anything. She's like, okay, yeah, you have to open your ABN and then you can start working with us. I was like, baby, I don't even have my license, and you want me to open an ABN? Like, my business, like business license, whatever you want. It's very easy. You get it from the government. I don't know what it is in America, but in Australia, it was called ABN. So the ABN is not something ideal that you want to open when you don't have clients, when you don't know you don't know the field of work, and you don't know anybody. Okay, so it's like it's not really ideal. The thing is that what I want you, I don't want this video to come across like you shouldn't take risks, because I do take risks, and they've led me to a really like good life here and there. Obviously, I'm still struggling, but I've still made risks. I've taken risks and earned good moments from them. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is that my body in that interview was like, like, this is asking for too much. I was coming from a profession where I have to sacrifice everything. Like nursing is pretty big. Like you need to really be responsible. Like it's like the military, you have to be responsible, you have to check what's going on. And then this chick is like, you literally have to no. I was like, I don't want to. In my head I was like, I don't want to compromise my health anymore. And so I walked out of this interview hysterical. I was like crying so much. I posted a TikTok about it, like saying that you moved towns and everything is like not working out, and like of me crying because I was just like, and I never done this before, by the way. Literally the first time I was like, I'm gonna go on TikTok and find some support, because like what the fuck is happening? I was ballistic because I was like, no fucking way is it gonna take me 3-4 months to get a fucking job in a field that you don't even need a degree in? Turns out I didn't need 3 months, I needed way more than that. But it's probably for the good. I can feel like there's a reason for it. So, after this like first interview, I was like, shit, this is like really fucking horrible. Um, I started I started doing something that I do since I was little, which is try to get away from the situation by basically showing the people in my family and my boyfriend that I'm like panicking and this is like not good for me. Because, see, like that is so ridiculous. Why do I need permission from people to say, I don't want to pursue this opportunity anymore? Like, why? But for some reason, I've always been wired to need permission from people to change my life, like in certain areas. I don't feel this way about my mindset, and I don't feel this way about small things. But when it's about big things, I feel like my judgment is not so good. So I go to my mom and I'm like, can you tell me what to do? And I know that that's a really big thing, bad thing, but I'm going to change and I'm already making progress, but I'm just trying to be honest with you because like the story is probably like this for a lot of people. And so I started going to these interviews and just I was like, no, like this is not good, this is not good. And my mom kept telling me, this is shit, okay, that's enough, like don't do this, okay, I'll give you money but don't do this. But you see, like I had that instant relief after going to 8 interviews. Yes, you heard right, 8 interviews. I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Yep. And actually, like even the people, like the real estate agents that were interviewing me, they were like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yes. And then I would go home and be like, no, I don't want to fucking do this. But anyways, I cried a lot. Like in May, this is now it's August. In May, I was like crying so much, and May, June, crying. Um, and I thought I hit rock bottom then. That's funny because we're still here. Um, no, but so what happened is that I started thinking I just need to get a regular job. Like I don't give a fuck. I want to work in a bookshop. I want to work in a plants shop. I love these kind of jobs because I love interacting with people, but not so much. And I was like, you know what? Maybe my destiny is to work on the things I really love doing. And that's why I started this channel because I really love talking to people and I love, sharing my stories and just being motivational if I can be, which I literally am to all my friends. My friends always are telling me like, "Oh my god, you're so like shamanic about everything," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm working on that because I'm still like I make so many mistakes in my life." But okay, so we are now in like June when I started this channel, and my friends from here, it's just downhill. It's just downhill. There's nothing I can say that's gonna make this sound good, but basically no response from any job, not even shop assistant, not even anything, just nothing. Silence. Silence. Just nobody wants me. So I started doing the things that I love, which is, for example, English tutoring. I love English tutoring. And I started chasing less like the traditional jobs. And yesterday I've okay, first of all, preface information. Before yesterday, I was like really reflecting on my life and what I want. And I was like scripting a lot. And since I'm on holiday with my family, and I've just been really introspective. I've just been really in my head thinking, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I supposed to do? So, in doing this, I started realizing that I'm controlled by anxiety. Like that's pretty much why I'm here actually on holiday, because I was feeling really bad with, my health issues, and it's probably because I was like on such a high stress level. So when I came here, it's like so peaceful and quiet. And I'm like, fuck, now I'm actually thinking, like I'm thinking because usually I'm panic thinking, which is not how you want to take decisions. But, like it's like my boyfriend does everything he can to make me feel good. It's absolutely just me. It's not the environment. It's just me. It's me that needs to calm the fuck down, because I have panic attacks and anxiety, and it's my problem. It's not. I don't blame anybody for it. And I'm really grateful for the support I got, because if it wasn't for my boyfriend who holds me down while I'm having a panic attack, I don't know what I would do. You know. So at this point, I realized, like now that I'm here, like last week, I'm like, it's probably a good time to reflect on my life and what I want to achieve. And, you know, because I'm a changed woman, I was like, I'm going to let the answers come through naturally. I don't want to like give myself like a 24-hour notice, and like this 24-hour period needs to give me exactly the information that I need. No, I was like, I'm going to give myself the time to really think it through what I want. So I guess this video was about this, but in general, like I want you to, I don't know, if you're watching this video and you're struggling with your career and you're struggling with like everybody just fucking doing so amazing and you're just there like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's okay. Like some people are just destined to naturally fall into what is already planned, what is already there out there. Okay. Maybe we are not destined for something that is already made. Okay. But I think you need to sit down for this one. Okay. But it doesn't mean that we don't work those jobs. So I'm not saying like I'm going back to real estate or nursing. Like I'm not saying that. I'm probably going to a different field or whatever comes up. But what I'm trying to say is that, working a job that you're not really like, you don't want to pursue it because you're working on a dream or something on the side. I think I've said this already, but I wanted to give you like the full picture. Um, working on like the most important thing is not working the job, but it's how you work the job. So if you went to work and you were like, okay, this is it, like I can't get out of this shit. Like for example, when I was a nurse, I was like, this is all I can do, bro. This is like my degree, this is everything. But now I'm thinking my job, like the traditional job that I'm gonna have, because spoilers alert, but I've decided I'm gonna find a full-time job, office job, corporate job, whatever it is. um it's okay. It doesn't need to be forever. And I have a really great friend, Ali, that's her name. She's a psychoanalyst, and we used to work together as nurses. And she told me one thing that I will never forget. She told me, I'm grateful that my job pays my bills. And I know that that sounds really like silly, but when she told me this, I was feeling really down about my job and like the impact my job had in the world, because I always want to do something that impacts people positively. But unfortunately, you can't always do that. And the most positive thing you can do is earn your money, and it's paying for your roof, it's paying for your water, it's paying for your bills, and that is something you can be grateful for, and that is the positive aspect of it. And I share this with you right now because it's a big realization. Maybe you are a person who has a lot of big dreams and you're very ambitious, but you lack the action because you don't know what direction you're going to. You don't know where to go, but you know that you're ambitious and you want things from life, but it looks like from the outside that you are a failure, that you're not doing anything. But honey, just you can work on your dreams on the side, but you can have just a shitty job for now, and that's okay. And that is the human experience. And this is there's two things I want to cover now. One is to build discipline and structure and being responsible for your actions. And the second thing I want to say is that as much as I believe in astrology, spirituality, as much as I believe in, I'm a person who prays and, I manifest and I'm affirming constantly, I cannot live in my head. I cannot live in my head. I'm a person and I need to live in the world I'm in. And, it almost makes me cry, this thing. But I've struggled with it for so long. Um, you know, to have a dream and to work at the same time is just something that my brain is not used to. Because for me, it's like my job has taken every single ounce of my body. And it's not even that, because I think that if you are responsible for yourself and you own up to looking after yourself and you take accountability for the fact that, okay, I need food, I need shelter, like I need those things, and I can be responsible for them by, and satisfying my needs by working in a job. It's not even that. It's just the fact that I may have found what is for me in the subtle way that the universe has given it to me is what makes me tear up a little bit, because for so long I was like, I don't know who I am. Like I feel like I'm like one of those people that's like jack of all trades. I can sew, I can read, I can write, I can talk, I can understand politics, I can understand how real estate works, I can understand how nursing works, cardiology, ophthalmic, um, nursing assistant, cafe, restaurant, architecture, interior design. I know like a lot of things, but who the fuck am I? Am I just hiding behind these titles? Am I hiding behind all the things I know? Because at the end of the day, those don't make me worth, those don't make me have my self worth. Those just, they're just things that are part of me, but I am worthy of everything without those things. And that's really hard to admit, because, you have to have that sort of understanding that you're seeing all those jobs, those skills, and everything that you have distant from the sense of self worth that you feel. But we're getting there. So, moral of the story. Oh, sorry, I need to tell you about discipline and structure and responsibility. Okay, I feel like this should be like another video because it's such a long topic. But in light of my story, okay, in light of my story, the one thing I always lacked, no matter how smart and no matter how driven, no matter how hard I worked, was discipline. And the word discipline makes me like cringe, like I hate it. I have such negative like connotation. To me, it's like it holds such a negative connotation. And structure and responsibility, those words, I hate them. I hate them. Like, no, I'm working on it, but I'm just saying, like, always have. And, you know, I realized that you can't do everything. And, like, this is a quote I was reading. This is crazy. Like, this book opened at this page today. You'll be shocked. Law 23: concentrate your forces. Conserve your forces and energy by keeping them concentrated at their strongest points. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeper than by fitting from one shallow mine to another. Intensity defeats extensity every single time. When looking for sources of power, this is a bit funny though, this part of the quote. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, find one key patron, the fat cow who will give you the milk for a long time to come. It's a bit funny. But I had to read it twice. I was like, oh my God, is it actually talking about a cow right now? But okay, usually I don't believe in this principle in the sense that I think you should try things before you commit to one. Like, extensity of knowledge is the key to really like finding your own definition of success. But enough of that for now, I feel, because it's okay to bounce from an idea to another, but then it just gets to a point where it's like all you're doing is like bouncing, and we can't do that forever. Eventually we have to find something that is imperfect, that gives us exactly, maybe like not perfectly exactly what we want, but with the right amount of effort, it leads us to something beautiful. And that's how I want to leave you for tonight. Thank you so much for listening if you're still here. And I hope that this story is very vulnerable for me to put this out there. But I want this story to make you think like, okay, I'm bouncing from shit to shit, but where do I want to be? And who am I? But if you don't know that yet, that's also okay. So keep bouncing until you know. See you in the next video.